15 conducting secrets from Carlos Kleiber in just 62 bars. In the iconic opening of Beethoven's 7th Symphony, the Poco sostenuto, Carlos Kleiber showcases masterful techniques that every conductor and music enthusiast can learn from. Whether it is horizontal gestures for musical lines, stop beats for tension and precision, expressive phrasing, transitioning between lines with natural ritardandos, expansive arm movements for forte and sforzando, or dynamic shaping. We will discover these techniques and more. Let's dive straight into his unique approach and see why it is a masterclass in conducting. In general, Carlos Kleiber conducts with extraordinary use of his full arm movements. In conducting, there are 4 key levels of arm movement. First, from the shoulder, moving the entire arm. Second, from the elbow, using the forearm. Third, from the wrist, using the hand. And fourth, from the fingers, using only the baton. Kleiber uses all 4 levels with incredible versatility, making his conducting style motorically rich and diverse. At the very beginning of Beethoven's 7th Symphony, you can already see a unique feature of his conducting: the preparatory motion for the tutti entrance in forte. Watch how high he raises his entire arms for this preparation. Despite the large movement, it looks remarkably elegant in his hands. Let's start with the 15 conducting secrets. After the powerful opening, Kleiber shifts to forearm gestures to guide the tempo for the oboe and strings in bars 1 and 2. Here, his left hand remains still, ensuring the orchestra's attention is entirely on his right hand. In bar 3, he uses his left arm again to indicate the forte entrance. Notice how this requires a high level of hand independence, a skill conductors must develop through practice. Next comes a signature Kleiber gesture. Instead of conducting the downbeat 1 with a traditional downward motion, he uses a circular motion from below. He does this when he wants to give the musicians responsibility for ensemble playing. This is a fundamental principle of his style. As soon as he trusts the musicians because 1, they are highly skilled, and 2, they have rehearsed thoroughly and know his interpretation, he gives them space to connect with the music and let it flow. We'll see this technique frequently throughout the symphony. A similar idea appears when he conducts predominantly with horizontal gestures. He often uses this technique for melodic lines that he doesn't want to break up with vertical beat patterns. In bars 5 and 6, for example, he applies this approach to the horns and woodwinds, ensuring the music flows seamlessly. For the downbeat on beat 1, Kleiber again uses his entire arm to emphasize the intensity of the forte and ensure the ensemble enters together. When Kleiber conducts with both hands in sync, it's a clear message: precision is the priority. In these moments, his wrist movements are especially focused, directing the ensemble with clarity. Kleiber employs stop beats, pausing motion briefly before accelerating. This creates tension and prevents early entrances. After the stop beats, he transitions back to smooth, rounded gestures, allowing the 16th note runs to flow. In bar 10, Kleiber points with his finger to highlight the strings, signaling that the rest of the orchestra should wait for the end of their 16th note passage. This gesture emphasizes leadership within the ensemble. For the first time, Kleiber divides the main beat with his left hand, even showing the individual 16th notes. This heightens the intensity of the passage. Kleiber uses opening arm movements as if signaling a cheer, conveying joy and intensity for the entrances from bar 15 onward. The conducting movement comes from the entire arm and is reinforced with explosive impulses. With his left hand, Kleiber indicates phrasing, such as the 16th note run of the first violins from bar 20 to bar 21. Many conducting beginners tend to signal phrasing too quickly, but as always, Kleiber demonstrates perfect timing, a skill conductors must practice diligently. In bar 22, Kleiber performs a classic horizontal gesture to indicate a gradual slowdown for the transition. Beat 3 remains fast, but he slows beat 4 significantly by shortening the motion. This natural ritardando creates a seamless transition between melodic lines, one of his signature techniques. To practice these motor skills, conductors should start with the right hand, then work on the left hand, and finally combine both hands for smooth coordination. For the transition to bar 27, Kleiber uses a large rounded motion from below to support the openness of the sound. The woodwinds lead here, and his focus is on letting the music flow rather than rigidly marking time. On beat 4 of bar 27, he transitions to a gesture resembling à la brief conducting, blending beat 4 with beat 1 of bar 28. However, in bar 28, he re-establishes a clear beat 4 to ensure the violins entrance is precise. Kleiber resumes conducting synchronously with both arms, incorporating stop beats to ensure precision. He also signals the basses to articulate the 16th clearly by individually marking them with his left hand, as seen on beat 2 of bar 30. The gestures then become rounder and smoother to keep the music from feeling static. In bar 32, Kleiber uses his left hand to create weight and intensity as if lifting a heavy object. This gives the quarter notes added weight and reinforces the crescendo. Following this, Kleiber employs wide open arm movements to emphasize the power of the fortissimo and sforzando effects. In bar 39, he once again marks the 16th with his left hand, building tension to the dynamic climax. He uses a stabbing motion into the orchestra, supported by a twist of his upper body. Just these 62 bars of Carlos Kleiber are a blueprint for conducting that balances precision, expression, and trust. As conductors, we can learn to empower our ensembles, shape musical flow, and express the emotional essence of a piece. Take these lessons to your next rehearsal and performance and see how they transform your connection with the music and your musicians.